This question relates to the need for a co-ed and multi-denominational school in the Dublin 7 and Ashtown area. A campaign group has been set up, Dublin 7 and Ashtown, secondary options by parents who can't get access to a non-religious based and often only set, one gender schools. Now, this is something that's emerging throughout the country, obviously not just Dublin, but many parts of Dublin.
Minister.
And it's based on current need, but also future need, because there's a lot of development in the area.
Hello.
The government recently announced plans for the establishment of 42 new schools over the next 4 years, 2019 to 2022. This announcement follows a nationwide demographic exercise carried out by my department into the future need for primary and post-primary schools across the country, and the 4-year horizon will enable increased lead-in times for planning and delivery of the necessary infrastructure. The Cabra-Phibsborough Dublin 7 school planning area is currently served by 8 post-primary schools. This includes Cabra Community College, which is under the patronage of City of Dublin Education and Training Board. While categorised as interdenominational, Cabra Community College is multi-denominational in nature and provides for the local community and could potentially bring additional capacity of this nature at post-primary level to this area. The new schools announced did not include a new post-primary school for the Cabra-Phibsborough Dublin 7 school planning area. However, the requirement for new schools has been kept under ongoing review, and in particular would have regard for the increased rollout of housing provision as outlined in Project Ireland 2040. It will also take into account that in the last number of years, 3 new multi-denominational primary schools have been established in the area to cater for the increased enrolment numbers at primary level. The projected increased flow of pupils from the primary schools in this area when the current junior cohort from these schools reach 6th class, as well as the output from more established primary schools in the area, will need to be taken into account in future demographic exercises when deciding on the need for additional post-primary school provision in the area.
Minister, parents are acting now because 2 secondary schools in Dublin West have now, for some mystifying reason, been appointed to religious patrons. We've had it with Lekela in Tyrrellstown, in the most multi-ethnic part of the country, but also now the Edmund Rice Trust, a religious group that hasn't even paid its full reparations to this date. Now, even if the Edmund Rice Trust, it will be co-educational, but it's still religious-based, but parents would ask that the catchment area actually doesn't extend to where this particular demand is, and that is something that could be done. Can I ask you to comment further about Cabra Community College, because I agree and many people agree this would seem to be a very serious option for the government to potentially develop. It is a co-ed school, it is non-religious based. The problem is it's very, very small at the moment. It only began to do the Leaving Cert quite recently, and it would need a huge, upgrade and investment. But this is something that parents are asking about, and will you investigate this option, because the principal is very open to it as well?
For supplementary response. Well, we'll take it very quickly, but I'm conscious there's others wanting to get in.
Sir, I don't know if you're aware that at Pelletstown and